Hi there guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice. In today's video, we are going to be doing the very last field test for the Arteza Premium Watercolor paints, and this is their 12 half pan set. Now, ironically enough, this video is being done for a card creation Sunday, and this is a piece of 5x7 Strathmore 100% cotton watercolor paper that I'm using to paint my focal image on and to do my sentiment stamping on for the front of the card. Now, you won't see me actually put the whole card together. You're just going to see me tackle the painting. But you can, once you're done, go ahead and attach your 5x7 card to a 5x7 card base. Stamp whatever you want to on the inside, and you'll have a beautifully painted watercolor card. Now, although this video is being done on Sunday and released on Sunday, the review video for these paints are actually going to be released before the video. But since I needed to do the last field test, I decided to go ahead and shoot a card creation video using the paints, and it just so happens it's going to go up after the review does. Okay, so now that all of that is out the way, you guys will see that I'm using Royal and Langnickel watercolor pencils from their Essential line alongside my Arteza. And I may have said Artist Loft earlier. I'm not exactly sure if I did. I really apologize, but these is Arteza Premium paints. I just sketched out the image of a lily with some little buds shooting out the side of my 5x7 card. And I went on and inked it in because I wanted to do a little ink and wash today. With that being said, I took that blue, or the lighter blue, I think it's called ocean blue, from the paint set, and went down the center of each one of my petals. And then I just took the darkest blue of the watercolor pencils to deepen that color and to add the little freckles that you would see on the petals of a lily. Afterwards, you're going to see that I'm going to mix different variations of green using the greens from the set as well. Now, there's a jade green, and then there is also a fern green, which, you know, Arteza gives their colors some really weird names. You kind of have to look at them to kind of guess what they are. Neither one of them was close to anything that I'm used to, but I will say I was able to mix those greens with other colors in order to get the various shades that I needed. I based in the stems and the leaves and the grass, and I will be honest, the leaves on this image were an afterthought. I drew the entire picture, and then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I left off the leaves, so I had to just kind of squeeze them into the composition, which is why it appears that they're coming off of the stem of the flower behind everything else. But ultimately, it's going to look okay, and it didn't really present a problem. So here you'll see that I'm just mixing those yellow shades of yellow and green together in order to get the various lights and dark greens that I want in order to paint the composition. And then I'm also using green watercolor pencils to go in and deepen shadows and colors in certain areas. And honestly, I am going to be going between the green paint and the green watercolor pencil a lot in this composition. Now, the Arteza paints, as I told you guys in the review, they're not the worst paints. They're okay student grade quality of paint. They are from the premium line, so it is a student grade paint. I really would be interested in seeing them produce watercolor paints for their expert line of products, just to see how they are different. Now, that's not saying that these are bad, especially for the price, because this 12 half pan set only costs like $18.99 from Arteza. I'm sorry, $19.99 from Arteza, $18.99 from Amazon, $17.99 from Walmart. Basically under $20 from the different places you could get it from. So I really wasn't expecting a huge deal from them. I will say that they performed really well for the price that you pay, although they probably won't be the first paints that I reach for when I decide to paint, but they're not so bad that I wouldn't consider giving them as a gift, and I think that they would be pretty suitable for a beginner. with all of that said, I'll be sure to link that review video in the video description, so that you guys can go check it out if you're interested or if you haven't already seen it. Okay, so now back to the painting here. I am working on the leaves, and I'm just basing in color, trying to get the different shades and variations that I want. I'll be honest, this painting gave me quite a bit of trouble. I was not really happy with it as I was doing it. And sometimes they say an artist can be way too close to the work that they're doing, that they can't see the value in it. And I almost did not post this video. I actually made mention of that in the review video for these paints, that I wasn't sure if I was going to post this video or not. But ultimately, after going back and looking at the video before doing the voiceover and having a couple of days to take some time away from the painting itself and going back to look at it, I figured, hey, it's not so bad. Maybe this video will be okay, and there will be some techniques that somebody can learn from it. Once I got done with the paints and the pencils, I still didn't necessarily have the vibrancy that I want for this to be a watercolor card creation. So I decided to go ahead and grab a supply that I don't really use that much. And those are my Jane Davenport Mermaid Markers, which is basically just a water-soluble ink-filled water brush. That you can use to base in colors, and it works pretty much like, water soluble ink. It's just in a water brush form, makes it easier to control, to a certain extent, because those mermaid markers do put out a lot of product at one time, so that is a bit of a learning curve to get over. However, I knew that they would add all of the deep color and saturation that I really wanted from this painting, so you're going to see me use different shades of that can't talk, different shades of those mermaid markers in order to enrich in color and depth. And as you can see, as I added them, the paintings seem to take on much more vibrancy and much more life. I mean, it's not going to be the most realistic looking painting, but I do believe that adding in that water soluble ink really did punch up and boost up the color. And I'm just going to go ahead and get all of that based in using the 2 shades of greens from those mermaid markers, as well as 1 shade of blue. So I really didn't use a lot of them, but what I did use was just enough to punch up the color, so that I could kind of get the composition to where I wanted it to be. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get all of that based in, and then I'm actually going to use the watercolor pencil itself to ink up a stamp. I'm just going to spray my rubber stamp with a little water, and then take the lid of that darkest blue watercolor pencil and rub it over the stamp in order to ink it up. Now this is going to do a couple of things, including giving the sentiment that I add to the front of the card a watercolor effect. You did see me splatter different colors that I've been using from the paint in the background, just to give it a little bit more depth and dimension, and just so that the background wouldn't be too stark. Here I'm just going to go ahead and remove the tape from the composition, being careful not to tear the paper. Then you're going to see me take that sentiment stamp, go ahead, get it inked up in order to stamp down the sentiment. If you guys like what you saw, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. And remember, as I always tell you, just keep painting.